Hey everyone, welcome to Tuck Your Shirt In, the podcast where we uncover the silliest and most scandalous school stories.
We'll hear from both the students and teachers' perspectives of the scandals.
You're listening to Tuck Your Shirt In with me, John Hassan, my brother Luke Hassan, and our producer and a man who still goes for jogs in bin bags, Scott Burrows.
What an introduction that is. Thanks very much for that, John.
The bin bag man.
From the script here, it said insert funny, so hopefully that was funny.
I like that. That was really good. We'll come back to that, I think. I think we'll come back to that one. The listeners don't need to know the whole story just yet on that.
Nah, it's fine. How you doing? Had good weeks?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
How about yourself?
Yeah, it's been all right. Yeah. Anyone want to give any updates from anything we've been getting up to?
I think I'll go this week. Been a very pet-related week this week for myself. Start of the week, we've got some new tree frogs called Odin and Vulcan, which quite Norse gods.
Nice
names into tiny little tree frogs.
Scott, now I don't know, but are tree frogs native to the Scandinavian region?
I wouldn't say so. I don't.
Or is it more that they embody the spirit of a true Norse?
Again, I'm not sure.
God?
I'm not sure that was really thought about when the naming process kind of took place. I think
I'll redact my statement.
I think we just kind of went, what are good names for tree frogs, and we just went Odin, Vulcan. I think Thor was thrown in there. Freya, Fenrir were all thrown around. But
feels like you were only considering Norse names.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Was there just any other names like Froggy, Lucky,
Kermit,
Hoppy?
We didn't have Kermit. We did have. I can't remember. We did have
Neil,
like Hop and something else.
That sounds pretty classic to me.
Yeah, I don't want to be boring. No. I wanted to stick to a theme.
Fair enough.
So we went with Odin and Vulcan. So yeah, we've got two little tree frogs. They're very cute. They're absolutely lethal. I don't know if you've ever seen tree frogs hunt. Obviously, we have to give them like live crickets and stuff. But they're so vicious. Like they just leap and just take these one bite, just this cricket's just minding its own little business and just chomp, gone. Doesn't exist anymore. It's crazy. It's brutal. I feel really bad for the crickets, to be honest.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, it really is.
Did you know you had to feed them crickets when you got them?
Yeah, we did know. I didn't realize how brutal it would be. I've never had reptiles or amphibians or anything like that.
Do you buy the boxes of crickets from Pets at Home? When we used to have a couple of geckos, I only fed them once, and it was so traumatic for me because as soon as you open that box, there's just hundreds of crickets trying to jump out. It's horrible.
Oh my god!
So we tend to open the corner of a box and then let them fall into another box, and then one of the other person or whoever's not holding the box of crickets will just put the lid on once 5 or 6 are in. It's insane though. You feel so bad.
Yeah, it is horrible. You've got to be careful as well, because in our old house, Alexa dropped a whole box once, and there were
Jesus
everywhere. I don't think we ever found them all really.
Laura's dad. So when Laura was growing up, she used to have lizards and stuff like that. And her dad would often drop locusts, the big ones.
Yeah.
And the neighbors would knock on the door and be like, have you got locusts? Have you got reptiles or anything? We keep hearing, we keep getting into bed at night, house is quiet, and we're just hearing what sound like locusts in the walls. So yeah, I think we're trying to be really careful with it, and fingers crossed that we don't have any issues.
I thought you were going to say my neighbour's knocked the door and Have you got locusts? Because our corn crop has produced very low yields this
very
harvest.
low yields. No, we haven't. There's nothing like that's happened yet. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so there was we bought frogs, and then also took Remus to the groomer this week. Now I've never taken Remus.
Have you had to go to the police or anything?
No. But I've taken him to the groomer, and I've never taken a dog to the groomer. So I didn't realise it was very much like having our own haircut. So like, open the door, like, oh yeah, I got Remus. Oh yeah, what do you want? And I just kind of stood blankly, expressionless. She was like, the usual, the teddy bear cut for a cavapoo. And I was like, sure, yeah. Didn't realise that you had to specify what you wanted. So I was like, yeah, maybe leave his kind of like mop on the top of his head a little bit longer, because he has like the little white patch on the top of his head. So we've left that a little bit longer, but yeah, he's come away. He doesn't look like a shaved chicken or anything like that. So
I would have gone fully shaved.
Done a very good job.
Full shave.
I don't want any hair on him. No hair on him. Just get rid of all his hair.
Like a hairless cat.
He'd look insane. Absolutely mental. But no, I think he'll be a little bit happier as it kind of gets closer to just the spring and the summer.
Do you feed him locust as well?
Oh yeah, he loves them.
Does he eat them?
No, he hasn't. Oh, we've not had any escape yet.
I bet the cat would have them.
Oh, the cat would. Yeah, the cat's.
They ever got out.
Like Jeepers she's not a hunter at all unless it's.
They eat the crickets.
Oh yeah, like spiders. You should see her with a spider. She's vicious with spiders.
It's horrifying.
She doesn't. So like with spiders, she doesn't like. She does kill them eventually, but she like plays with it first. She's so demonic with it. It's like she'll put a paw on it and like so it like tries to get away and it can't get away because her paw is obviously on top of it. And then she'll let it go and then she'll just like bat it around, and then eventually she'll just go and just munch it, and you just hear this paw, like this horrible chopping of the cat's lips. It's horrible, but yeah, she does. She does enjoy a spider.
What about yourselves? Have you eaten the crickets yourself?
No, I'm partial to some strange foods. John's having a little smirk.
I've heard it's the food of the future.
Yeah,
it's no raw. It's meant to be very good, actually.
Yeah, it's no raw chicken though. So
that's the main portion of your diet, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I love raw chicken. But
did you eat raw chicken?
John?
Well, I think Scott has a tendency to get carried away in debates and make things up. I think you've definitely done that in the past. So when we were away, I think we were talking about how you can obviously eat steak pretty much raw. And then we were saying, but you can't really do it with white meat. And Scott immediately came out with, well, I eat raw chicken all the time. That was how that came about. And then obviously I've never forgotten it.
Again, out of context, I was talking about the fact that I have eaten raw chicken and I didn't get ill because my dad is not the best chef in the world and has made me many a portion of chicken that is a little bit uncooked in the middle. And
I've got to be honest, I think that's what John said.
That's just my own brain. Whenever I hear John talking, I just switch off because I know it's going to be incriminating. But yeah, terrible.
Nice.
You and your dad have quite a funny relationship with food, don't you? I hear you.
Oh God, no!
but both of them like to drink straight out of the milk carton or orange juice carton.
God, that's horrible.
So if one of them's ever ill, the other one's going to be ill just a little bit later. Is quite often what happens.
Again, one time, I drank out of the orange juice carton last. I got ill because my dad hadn't been very well. Didn't realise he'd drank out of the orange carton juice earlier in the week. There was like a tiny little bit left. I'm like, I'm not going to dirty a glass for this. Didn't realise he'd drank from it. And then, was horrendously ill the rest of the week.
Oh, it's the sole purpose of a glass. It's to be drunk out of.
Yeah, but when there was like a mouthful, maybe 2 mouthfuls left, I was like, I don't want to dirty it. It's fine. I didn't want to wash it up. This was when I was much younger. I've learnt my lesson since that point. It's not something I do anymore.
The shared drink. It's probably because of the raw chicken, to be fair. Eating that and then drinking that.
Yeah, it's not a good combo. Don't do that, folks.
Having the shared drink out of the fridge. Or lips all round the top of it as well.
A bit of backwash in there.
Just give it a lick round the before you go. Really mark your own territory.
We'll move on now.
That was my week. Somehow we've got to that, but there you go.
Sorry, we jumped all over that, Scott.
Right. Oh, hang on. I saw that. Call back to the start. Jumped around. Tree frogs. Fantastic. Nice. I really like that callback. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on then. So, who's bringing us a story this week? Is it me?
I think it's me.
Okay.
That's okay.
This week.
Yeah. Right. Now, you've both probably heard shortened version of this story before. But this will be a little bit more detailed. So I'll try and avoid using the people's names if I can. So, but I'll use the main name of the person who we went to visit. So our friend, I'll just use his first name, Mike. We went to visit him every year when he was at uni for his birthday. Each year was unique, but this second year we went to visit him was the most eventful, I would say. So we arrived. The two of us went up. Let's call them Nigel and Roger. Accompanied me up to visit Mike.
Two 55-year-old.
Yeah, two 55-year-old men.
It's a common theme in John's life, just spending time with 50-year-old men in the comedy club. He's done it from a very young age.
Is this the groomers you went to see, Scott?
Yeah. Different type of groomers, these ones, though.
So as I say, it was this was his second year at uni, so would have been 19. He'd have been turning 20. And it's, in second year, it's when you start to live off campus. So they'd got their own house, Mike and a few of his uni friends. I hadn't met many of them. I can't really remember most of their names. We arrived. Mike was there wearing a full light grey tracksuit. And we met one of his friends who I remember. They called him Ainsley because the story was apparently he looked like Ainsley Harriott.
Okay.
The only characteristic he shared with Ainsley Harriott is that he was black. Other than that,
good lord,
he didn't really look
classic stereotype.
Did he like this nickname?
Well, he was happy with the nickname. He seemed to be anyway.
Was he a good cook?
I don't know about that. He never cooked for me. He might have been.
Right. Okay.
He might have just talked about peppers all the time. So maybe that was.
Okay. Fair. Carry on.
But yeah, so we got there. And we were obviously planned to go out. We were going to go to the Students' Union. We had a bit of pre-drinks. Mike, whilst he was at uni, was quite a heavy drinker. He probably doesn't mind me saying this. His pre-drinks, he drank a whole bottle of Southern Comfort, just straight out the bottle.
It's not really a pre-drinks. That's like a whole drinks.
But as we know, Mike is a very big guy. And after he had the Southern Comfort, he wanted to get something to eat, and he was still wearing his grey tracksuit. So he put on his work shoes, which are some smart shoes, and
just to look completely unhinged.
Yeah. And walked to the shop. I can't remember what he was buying, to be honest. It was just some sort of snack to eat.
Probably raw chicken.
Probably.
Or cooked chicken breast was Mike's usual go-to.
Very possible. But anyway, yeah, so he'd had a lot to pre-drink, I think, sort of getting to the point of, and we'd all drank a bit. So we arrived at the union, the four of us. Mike continued to drink at the union. He was buying shots and all sorts. And at one point, we turned around and Mike was very angrily walking across the sort of dance floor, looking at someone. We didn't know what had happened. So Nigel, Roger, and myself all tried to hold him back. It was sort of like something out of a TV show. We were all just sliding backwards because of the size of Mike. As you know, he's a big, strong guy.
Jeez, yeah.
Usually the nicest man of all time.
Oh yeah. But obviously he was more Southern Comfort than man at this point. And we were swiftly removed from the Students' Union by the security guards at this point, quite rightly. As we went outside, there was this very drunk Irish guy. He challenged Nigel to a slapping contest. I don't think that's not a normal thing. Obviously,
that's not a thing. But
and he
it
said,
might be in Ireland.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is. If it is, please let us know.
Yeah.
He said, "Do you want a slapping contest?" And he was quite drunk. This guy, and Nigel was drunk but pretty sober. And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And this guy would literally tap Nigel on the face, and then Nigel slapped him so hard it was actually quite horrible. This went on for absolutely ages until eventually one of the bouncers came over and said, "I've been watching you for about 20 minutes, guys. You're going to have to move on. This is ridiculous now." So we carried on to the front, and there was this girl who was being carried out by two of her friends, and she'd got a black bin bag wrapped around the back of her, like around her waist.
Hey Scott, you know this sort of stuff.
You know about bin bags, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've only ever used them for running, so just to make you sweat more. I say I use them. My dad would force me to use them. Again, a strange relationship.
Oh, it's another sub story, John.
It's another sub story. Come on, move on. Get on with it. Come on, John.
Anyway, this bin bag blew away, and we could then see that her skirt had sort of reversed and was now over her like belly. So like a bum was out basically. And
God.
She was wearing like a thong.
Oh no, poor thing.
And it was at this point that Roger, the other person in the story, who was also very drunk, ran past behind her and slapped her on the bum.
Oh God.
That slap must have sort of caused some sort of issue internally because she immediately started pissing down her leg. And then what followed that was she started to poo herself.
Oh my God.
Because she was wearing a thong, it sort of was
split down the middle.
Falling down.
Jesus Christ.
I know, it was quite a horrendous scene. And then her friends grabbed the bin bag to cover her again. They were trying to get her into a taxi. I don't know if they managed to get her in. They covered her up. Obviously, this bin bag would have been covered in all sorts. And I think they did get her in, but then the bin bag blew away again. Roger had missed all of this after the slap. Don't know what he was doing. And he then found the bin bag on the floor and picked it up, not realising what had happened.
Oh, no.
So his hands were probably covered in, some bodily fluids.
Like instant karma there. Instant karma for him.
Deserved.
We were like, put it down. It's covered in shit. And he was like, what are you talking about? He was like having none of it. And we were like, you stink. And he was getting quite angry to the point where he was just like, fuck off. It's just like you're having me on.
Really aggressive.
Yeah. And then we just walked back home after that. But only Nigel and I actually were sober enough to remember the whole thing.
Oh my God.
I think it was at that point that I rang yourself, Luke, I think, to sort of recount what had just happened. I couldn't quite believe it.
Oh God, yeah, I think you did.
You were with your your uni mates.
Yeah.
As well,
Oh God, yes. Remember this now.
I just remember being on the phone and you were all just like laughing back.
Oh yeah, I'll put you on speakerphone.
Yeah, it was
lads, listen to what John's just gone through.
It was just one of the most unbelievably bizarre things I've ever seen. Yeah, but that's about it, really. Nothing else really.
Thank you.
I've got some questions.
Yeah, right. Feel free.
Firstly, when all of this is unfolding, are you just stood in the street, just watching it happen? Just like, because I can just imagine it like slow motion. It's so disgusting, but you just don't want to take your eyes off it.
I mean, the whole thing probably actually happened quite quickly. But yeah, it did feel like very surreal. It almost felt like it was like a dream. Like what the hell is going on here?
Oh God,
it doesn't sound real.
It sounds mental and
yeah,
also awful. Absolutely awful.
It's not something I've ever forgotten. As I say, I was 19, so it's like 12 years ago.
It's drilled into your memory now.
It's quite a sight seeing someone say "poo in a thong" I
can't believe the thong just split it down the middle.
Yeah.
And now it's something you can probably just pay for on OnlyFans now.
That's your thing. Yeah.
There you go. It's come full circle.
Is that you trying to put out your OnlyFans now?
Yeah, Luke? If you do want to catch me, I'm reading history documentary books, but turning the pages with my toes.
Oh God! The way you said it was so seductive as well.
Have I cut my toenails? No, I haven't.
Have I washed my feet all week? No.
It depends on what the person asks for. I'm very grateful for the support, and I like to take people's needs on board.
That is, I don't think I can look at Luke for the rest of the podcast. John, secondly, right. So, like, we've all been in a taxi where you are really drunk or something's happened, and they are not like that taxi driver is not having you in their car because they know they're going to spoil it. Like, did he not go? Probably best not to take this.
I can't really remember, but I'm sort of thinking that surely
it's probably all okay now. It was all in the bag.
Well,
it's all over Roger's hands.
All nice and clean.
Particularly, I don't know if I've never tried to clean myself off with a bin bag. I can't imagine it being the most efficient.
I can only talk from a sweat perspective. It kind of just makes it kind of makes everything go everywhere.
Yeah. If you're not wearing boxer briefs though as well, nothing's keeping it in. It's coming straight out.
Yeah,
you're probably quite good to go, aren't you?
I mean, but it's going to be all over the thong. Like,
I guess you could lose that, and then you're fine.
It's still
all over your legs and
still all over your legs and your bum and everything.
50-50, I'd say.
I think I can safely say she wouldn't be in my taxi after that. Like, no. I'm not taking her.
No,
maybe he just hadn't seen it.
He might not have, to be fair. I suppose
he definitely smelt it.
He let her in and was like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
Yeah.
So that poor woman, obviously, have had quite a night of it. Although she probably doesn't remember herself.
No.
Hopefully her friends were kind, I imagine, the next...
Feels cleared out the next day. My tummy feels good now.
No. There's no way your friends will let you forget that. Two things have happened there. Either she's had to live with it to this day, or she's found herself a new friendship circle that have no idea about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And if you're listening to the podcast, please get in touch with us because we would love to hear your side of the story of it.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
By chance, someone. Okay.
And if you want to press charges against Roger, please do. Okay. Have we had any emails this week?
We have. We've got a couple. So we've actually had a friend of the pod come into contact who I think, John, I think you know quite well. Ben?
Yes, Ben Coleman. I'm sure you won't mind me using your full name. Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. He's great. He's a stand-up comic as well. He does like musical comedy.
Can we give him a shout out?
Yeah, so his name's Ben Coleman. He runs a monthly night called Crash Test Comedy, Moseley. And he's got a podcast himself as well called Had an Idea Podcast. So I'm sure whatever he's written, I know you look after the emails. We don't get to see them before the pod. I'm sure it'll be funny. So I'm looking forward to it.
Just to double check, I was just trying to find his socials. Now, this isn't the same Ben Coleman who's the Labour MP for Chelsea and Fulham, is it?
It is. It's the very same.
Oh, no way.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I was like, there's no way. There's no way, surely.
Right. Okay. Fair. Oh, right. I think I've got him. Let me get his. Let's give him some love. I think. No, carry on, Scott.
So
I've got loads of different Ben Colemans here. Oh, keep looking.
Ben sent us he sent us a lot of 3 stories he sent through. They're fairly short. They're more like anecdotes than I'd say they were proper full-fledged stories. So I might just cover a couple of them and hope for the best. So
1 second, Scott. Sorry, all the animals have broken in.
Okay.
We've got an animal disaster.
Alexa. Lex.
That's his wife's name, by the way, not the AI assistant.
We're just going to cut this, aren't we? I imagine.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, God, I can just see Ron causing chaos.
Ben Coleman needs to be found easier. Oh, I think I've got it, actually. Yeah, I've got it.
He's he came up on YouTube for me quite easily.
Yeah, I've got him here. It's iambencoleman.com. Easy.
Back. You're back. Okay, I'll go again.
Cool.
So yeah, Ben sent us a few anecdotes, which are quite funny. So I'm going to talk you through a couple of his stories. So the first one that he does was in primary school, where, as I'm sure we've all done before, of the classic prank of pulling the chair back as someone's about to sit down. Always hilarious. Always is funny until someone gets hurt, which unfortunately for Ben in this situation, I don't. He hasn't stated whether he had a bit of a crush on the girl, but she fell backwards and hit her head. So obviously was sent to the head teacher's office. But as he walked out the room, he thought it was a really good idea to grab his exercise book. And when the head teacher asked why he'd been sent to see him, Ben said it was for good work. So he showed the head teacher his exercise book and all the good work that he'd completed. And obviously, as a head teacher, you'd be none the wiser. Who then escorted him back to class and showed Ben's book to all of the class and said what brilliant work and how they should be more like him.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, Ben was leaving school, and as the polite young man he was, he held the door open for someone. As the head teacher called over, "Well done, Ben. Isn't holding a door open nicer than pushing a girl off a chair?" So obviously had been in the staff room and kind of thrown under the bus by the teacher. But fortunately, don't think he got into too much trouble for that. Got to be careful with what you do. But I mean, for a primary school kid to go in with that quick fire thinking of I'm going to take my exercise book. That is some next level thinking. I'm very impressed with that.
I think that's just the molding of the young brain, and the cylinders are firing all the time, aren't they? So he's got the situation. Think, oh God, I need to do something. It just comes to you.
It's a genius.
Like that.
Absolutely genius.
Weren't they? When the teacher's talking about it, they're probably like, "This kid's clever."
Watch out for this one.
We can't tell him off for that. Sure,
watch out for Coleman.
He's done really well there to pull that out the bag last second. Yeah, one of those scenarios where you're just impressed. And great story. And then the second one, we now move forward to secondary school, where Ben had an IT teacher who was fairly relaxed and always let them, he was a fairly hard-working student, so always kind of let them have some fun because they completed the work. They were quite good with like computers and stuff. And they used to pull little pranks on each other, and the teacher would often get them back and stuff like that. And one day, Ben decided while she was out of the room, to hide her car keys, in an empty box, and left a riddle on a desk for her to find them. However, unbeknownst to Ben, his friend took the note and threw it in the bin. So this teacher had no idea where these keys were, had no way of finding it. Ben, none the wiser, is sat in one of his afternoon lessons where she stormed in, completely ignoring the class, completely ignoring the teacher, and just said, "Ben Coleman, I have just wasted half an hour looking for my keys and I've missed my lunch. One of these days, I'm going to kill you."
Oh my God.
And then stormed off down the corridor, giving death threats out to Ben as she went. So you can imagine her absolute rage. That would be really frustrating to have to deal with.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
I think she'd have enjoyed it if she did find the riddle. I think that was the problem. I think
I think that's the key. I think he does go on to say that she took it well once it was all kind of described to her. But even so, that is absolutely evil to do, more from Ben's friend actually than anyone. But
high risk, high reward situation.
A fantastic story. Nonetheless,
that reminds me a little bit, Scott. I don't know if you remember this. We had a supply teacher in maths, and we were meant to have some tests.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're referring to.
One of the guys in our class we were in the classroom before the supply teacher came in. He hid the tests in one of the drawers. And the supply teacher came in baffled, went out and got another teacher to come in. And he was like looking for them, just also baffled. Like, where are these tests?
I think the teacher who came in had put the test, had like printed them off.
Yeah, and put them there
himself. So he obviously knew they were in the room somewhere or had been taken. And he was like, he just went mental, didn't he? He was like, where are the tests?
And he was meant to be teaching the class himself as well, obviously. So
great.
Eventually, the guy that hid them said, "Oh, have you tried looking in that drawer?" They immediately pulled them out, and he just got into loads of trouble. Like,
well, I guess it's like those things, the serial killer returns to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, it's no good if you're not caught for it, is it?
He could have just left it and just gotten away with it, and none of us would have had to do the tests.
Yeah,
no, but you want them to know it was you, don't you?
Yeah. I also remember sitting those tests in that lesson, and like obviously you're meant to be in test conditions, and everyone laughing, and people were just like saying the answers to questions out loud. It was like, question 4, answers 23. I just remember people doing that, or like coughing, like question 2, like really badly, really obviously, and the teacher just being like, "Who said that? Who was that?" Like, but because it's a supply teacher, there's no like, she can't really give you detention, can't really tell you off that badly, really. So you kind of get away with it a little bit more.
Don't become a supply teacher is what the moral of the story is.
Of the story, I think from most occasions as supply teachers, I think they struggle in most classrooms.
Yeah, it sounds like it when we just give them an absolute horrible time. It's funny for us, right? Let me give Ben's website out, because I found him. It's iambencoleman.com. I mean, we can't get any easier than that.
That is very simple.
iambencoleman.com. So please go and show him some love, because they're very funny, and he's been very kind in writing us in some lovely little anecdotes there. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Right, that brings us to the end of the pod this week. I've just got a text that I've got to go and deal with a Poonami. So wish me luck.
We almost got through a week of Luke talking not about poo.
I know.
There we go.
I know. It's not mine. It's someone else's. That's just how it goes. All right. Well, thanks ever so much. Please write in your stories to tuckyourshirtinpod@gmail.com. We'll drop our Discord link in the description so you can chat to us there. And maybe we'll start a pod poo chat where you can share your...
Send in any poo-based stories as well.
Yeah, any poo-based stories would be nice as well, actually.
Oh, God. I don't want to read through those.
No, Scott will like to read through those. He's actually requested it on our potty chat. Potty WhatsApp chat.
Potty watch.
Yeah. Right. See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.